Hello, all you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. Today I will be showing you mainly my video game books. I do have a few non-video game books in here, mainly due because I don't really have another themed kind of video to really put them in. But before we get into this, if you want to chat with me or just chill out with random conversation, I have a Discord server you guys can join. I'll have the invite link in the description. And yeah, been trying to build up my community on there, and I like to interact with you guys. Outside of just replying to only your comments, it will be nice to chat with you all. But yeah, let's get into some of the non-video game books, and we'll see how long this video ends up being, because who knows how long I'll get into discussing some of this stuff. That was not the book I was looking for. Okay, so books, they start to weigh like a ton. So this is pretty cool. I have a book that's called The Essential Supernatural, based on, it's just a book based on stuff about the TV show throughout the seasons. They have like behind the scenes stuff in here and such, little other things. Just a bunch of cool info book for the show. It is one of my favorite shows, like, ever. I've pretty much been watching it. Well, I watched through it since the start of season 3. Which even before then, I caught up with the DVD box sets back in that time frame. But yeah, so this is like just a little, I don't know what you exactly call it, but it's just has a bunch of info. I haven't even really taken the stuff that's stapled in here out. There's a lot of just cool information and interviews and just stuff like that. And this, I think it goes up to season 9, and that's the author never released a updated version, at least not to this day. Trying to see exactly if it's going to tell me or not. So yes, it covers basically seasons 1 through 9 with a chapter with a glimpse on season 10, which there was 15 seasons of this show. The cat decided to take over my side table here. And on that note, I have a supernatural bestiarity book. That basically is pretty cool. Has info on probably not every monster, since this probably released in a time before the show was complete. But you get these cool little black and white images with some information on the side. Like monsters, let's just go with something. It goes in alphabetical order too, like you have a banshee, and all the info, well, a paragraph about it anyways, and yeah. It's just a bestiarity, and just very, very cool. There is one more, not really video game book, but it is an art book. It's designed to be read like a manga, because this is the back. Normally books open from the other side, but so it's a little bit weird. But it's a Full Metal Alchemist art book. Yeah. Just got a bunch of colorful art. I will not be flipping through these today, but if you would like a flip through video, or like an in-depth like flip through video, let me know in the comments, and yeah. So with that, we'll continue through these art books. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a Dark Horse art book for the game. But yeah, most of these coffee book tables are made like on a high quality gloss paper, so they're really sturdy. Oh, this was a cool one. The Art of Naughty Dog. I found this at a local game shop, and I got it for only like $3. That was a good deal for this. Has some art. Well, it's just art for different Naughty Dog games. Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, The Last of Us. At least that's what they're highlighting on here. Got their logo on the back. I don't know if they have. Yeah, it might actually only cover them series as far as art goes. But they are good games, so yeah. This is a cool one. I wish I'd gotten more of these, because they were only made they were made like through a Kickstarter, but they don't continue to make them to this day, so you had to be in the moment and able to get it, which is why they're pretty high priced. I only have the GameCube Anthology by by Geeksline. This is a complete book about, well, the GameCube. It also starts to, eventually, you'll get into a section where it's going to start. Okay, here we go. So yeah, like about a quarter of the way through the book, you're going to start to get, this has every game on the GameCube in here to give you a little bit of info about it. And the cool thing is, there is even some canceled games in here that never actually released. So yeah, this was just more of a love letter book to the GameCube. They have other books I'd like to get maybe someday, but like I said, they're kind of hard to find since they were only made in limited quantities. And so, yeah. Of course, have Hyrule Historia, a Zelda art book, but kind of a art book / info in a sense. So, pretty neat. Everyone kind of knows about the Hyrule Historia, or the Zelda coffee book trilogy. I only have 2 of the books, though. I also have Zelda, or Legend of Zelda Arts and Artifacts. which is their second art book after Hyrule Historia. I still need the Zelda Encyclopedia though. But yeah, they are wonderful books. And the final, yes, this is the final art book. Dragon Quest. Of course I had to get the Dragon Quest art book. Actually, there's another art book in here, but so ignore what I said, but this was an awesome book. The artwork for the Dragon Quest games is just so dang charming. Even the villains look awesome in their own way. It's just so very neat. Let's get the other art book out of the way. This one's cool because, one, it has a slipcover. This is a Dragon Quest 25th anniversary Encyclopedia of the Monsters. Notice Japan writing on there. Yeah, I had to buy this. I had to import it. Well, I think the person I bought it from came from the region I was in, but these originated in Japan. So they are not translated. It's all going to be like in Japanese and stuff like that. So I can't really read the info, but there is some great like artwork of every monster in here. So yeah, I bet it would even make fun for a flip through too, especially if you're interested in like all the types of monsters here, as it just keeps going on and on and on. Also, you have a cute little pixel slime on the back. Now, I believe that is all the artwork stuff. I still want to get through some of this random stuff. These are still video game related, but they are not. The rest of these are going to be strategy guides, but these on top are going to be just random. Well, for starters, manga. After you begins. This came with the kind of special physical edition you bought for the .hack.gu last recode for the Nintendo Switch. You had to buy it from the Bandai Namco website, which their shipping is horrible. Like, when I bought the game, it did not tell me my payment went through till after I received the item. Like, I received the item in the mail, they still hadn't charged me. Then like a day later, I finally got charged. So it was a complete unorganized mess. And yeah, I haven't really bought anything from the Bandai Namco website since. This was a gift. A friend of mine got me because he knows I'm into Dragon Quest. This is the volume 1 for the manga Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. I have not watched the anime of this, so, and I haven't actually read this either because it takes me forever to get around to reading things. My friend also got me the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time manga, or manga, however you want that to be pronounced. But along with that, they also got me Majora's Mask and A Link to the Past manga. There's like 4 different mangas based on different Legend of Zelda games. This one I saw at Half Price Books, and it's just a small kind of book based on video game history. Retro Gaming, a bite-sized history of video games. Yeah. So it's just a small little handbook to read about some of the history of video games. Um, might be might be an interesting read through video at some point. This one is another one I saw from Half Price Books. The Legendary World of Zelda, the ultimate unofficial guide. So I'm guessing this is a guide to just the Legend of Zelda series based on the opinions of the author that wrote this. And my cat wants in. Come on. Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like I said, another kind of like little handbook about the kind of the timeline of the release of the games. Not chronologically, but the time of release of the games. So yeah. Oh, this is definitely one of my favorites I've ever come across. Probably a lot of you are not gonna know about this because, and again, this was like a self-published, kind of limited kind of thing from the seller. Um, so there was this guy. What's his name? Jeremy Parrish. Hopefully I said your name right. He used to have like a kind of blog website where he would post in paragraphs blogs about his experience of playing through a specific game. And after he released a bunch of them blogs, he decided to put the entire series of, well, the theme series based on the games he played into books. He has 5 or 6 different books that he published in this fashion. This one's called the Anatomy of Metroid. He also has like the Anatomy of Zelda, the Anatomy of Castlevania, the Anatomy of Super Mario, and the Anatomy of Mega Man. So yeah, what he did was he put all of his blogs together in kind of a book that lists his experience as playing through the game as he noted down in his blog post. So yeah, this was one of the coolest finds I'm just glad I was around at the time to be able to order it while it was still in print, because not only is it, well, relatively pricey for this size of book to try to find secondhand, but they're kind of hard to come across on eBay because not a lot of people know about them. So I imagine a lot of them are they're just hard to come by. So I should have bought them when they was still in print, but okay. 18 minutes in, and we are just now getting to the strategy guides. Hopefully you enjoyed all these bonus books, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video, hopefully. We'll start out with the hardcover, so this is the Legend of Zelda, the complete official guide collector's edition for Breath of the Wild. I have not. Well, the map I don't think was connected in to begin with, and oh yeah. Well, that's not good. So I remember what happened so with how they, at least I think it's with how they produce these. When I got this, when I opened it, you know how some pages like to stick together. So then you will see that part of the, I guess the glue you would call it, kind of ripped up a little bit of the color on this page, which is unfortunate because, yeah, that is just awful. But, yeah, it happened. But, in fact, that was probably due to the map, because the map was like right here. So the map had something to do with that. But yeah, this is just a guide to Breath of the Wild. I will say, not really my favorite Zelda game because I'm not into open-ended, open-world games. But it was still cool nonetheless. And I decided to keep it. There's even a tiny, very, very tiny, like, art section in the back, I believe. Come on. Yep, here we go. A little bit of concept art, but it's only like that thick, which is unfortunate. Alright. Don't tip over, please. Alright. We have Castlevania, Lord of Shadows, which the game probably should have been more successful than what it was. It was a God of War clone, but it was still a good playable game. I enjoyed it. I had it on the Xbox 360, so I had a 2-disc version. This was kind of cool because it did try a couple different elements, like a couple of the boss fights were Shadow of the Colossus inspired, and along with that, there was a few different kind of gameplay mechanics they tried. The game went on for a little longer than what it probably should have. But overall, it's definitely a game I would like to have again, eventually. Alright. So a lot of these books I just kind of... These are like the common books that are like still in half-price books and stuff. Fable 2, I come across a lot as far as the strategy guide goes. It's not really rare or anything. Fable 2 was a pretty good game. I enjoy the first Fable a little better than 2. But 2 is definitely better than what the Fable 3 was. Never actually read through it, the strategy guide, but if I see a strategy guide for a game, well, for instance, I'd like to, if I can, since I'm not aggressively getting PS2 games out the wazoo, I like to invest in like some more strategy guides to try to get as many strategy guides along with my PS2 games. Like if I have a PS2 game that has a strategy guide, I should probably try to seek that out while my collection is still small. Then that's going to help me grow my strategy guide collection more so than what it already is. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. These are great Diablo type games. I've been a fan of these kinds of games since, as far as Marvel goes, since like the XMen Legends 1 and 2. Yeah, I wouldn't say I went through a phase, but I did I did have a timeline back when I first owned the PS2 where me and my friends we got a bunch of these Diablo type games that we would play through, EverQuest Champions of Norath, and its sequel, Champions of Norath, Brothers in Arms or something like that. Then XMen Legends, XMen Legends 2, then Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and Ultimate Alliance 2, which are fantastic games, especially if you're into comic books and everything along them lines. So with this strategy guide, I just randomly flipped to this page, but in the game, you'll come across an NPC where you have to answer trivia questions in order to, well, I think you get something from it, but this actually has all the answers in here. So again, strategy guides are kind of cool. Probably one of the more rarer strategy guides I bought a couple of years ago. Just was looking around on eBay. Luigis Mansion, the official Nintendo Powers Player's Guide. I'm just gonna leave it in the bag, but yeah. Never actually owned or played the Luigi's Mansion game. We'll have to maybe see if I start to grow a GameCube collection at some point. So this is not an official Nintendo's guide, but Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time versus books. So this is in actually pretty bad condition. You can see the crinkles and stuff. Versus books, I think they go still for like a pretty penny, though this is missing its poster and stuff. The art book is actually kind of nice in this. Or not art book, but the art in this is pretty nice. Probably not as good as the official Nintendo's guide, but alright, here we go. Let's do this in order. WCW NWO Revenge for the Nintendo 64. I don't have a Nintendo 64. If only there was an easy way to play the Nintendo 64 on modern TVs. But yeah, I was a big fan of these games, so I had to pick up the strategy guide, especially when I saw it. It was just, might have got these at like half-price books, or I may have ordered them on eBay. There was like a phase where I was just shopping around on eBay to see what I could find. WrestleMania 2000, another great Nintendo 64 game. Again, wrestling, but they were fun wrestling games. Alright, so I knew eventually I would probably own these games. I have Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time strategy guide, which, again, part of the charm of the strategy guides is just a physical book you can flip through to try to find out what you're stuck on, but it also works as like unofficial art books in a sense. Also have Prince of Persia Warrior Within. Apparently I paid $15. Did I pay $15 for that? No, I think I got this on eBay. And I have Prince of Persia The Two Thrones. So yeah, I have the complete Prince of Persia trilogy in strategy guides. I knew they were games that I was gonna want eventually. I do own them on PC, but There's something more charming when playing them on a console rather than PC. Okay, I'm gonna put this off for till a little bit later because I know I have more strategy guides in that series. Speaking of Ultimate Alliance, XMen Legends. So now, the strategy guys makes me say, maybe I should probably seek out these games first on the PlayStation 2. But yeah, I'll just... That's cool. I also have X-Men Legends 2. So I'm prepared for both games if I ever want to play them. Well, I'll want to play them, but if I ever get around to having them. Okay, I know I have... Where are you? There you are. But there's also... I know there's... Okay. Give me a moment because I know there is one more because did I? Or is that a negative? Okay, that's a negative. I thought I might have been weird. So, for some reason I thought I had a... So I have Lego Star Wars the video game. Your typical kind of strategy guide kind of thing. Not really too thick, but it's a Lego game. You just need to... Really all the strategy guide needs to tell you is where stuff you need to collect is. I also have Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. But I also thought I had a guide for Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, which I guess would basically be two guides in one, but maybe I felt I didn't need to pick that up since I already had the two separately. Best license-based game ever, at least on Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3. Never played the downgraded PS2 version, or was it on the Wii? I can't remember, but it's X-Men Origins Wolverine. The Xbox 360 and PS3 were titled as the Uncaged Edition. So, it was actually a different version of the game than what was released on PS2. I might have to pick up the PS2 version just to see how different it was, because I actually, well, I dang near got all the Xbox achievements for this game. I was missing one dog tag, or one collectible though, that was in the game that I couldn't get to unlock that final achievement. So I even used like internet guides and stuff to try to follow it from collectible to collectible through the whole game. Yeah, I can't believe. In the end, I just was like, well, the achievement probably glitched. This I probably came across at a game convention or something. It's Final Fantasy IX. So this is a strategy guide, but it's not really all in here. This was during a time frame where strategy guides were promoting like a online counterpart to enhance the strategy guide. So you would have to go to this website at the bottom. It's called playonline.com in order to get any kind of extra info you wanted, because these guides would have these little boxes where you would enter a keyword onto the website to, I guess, get the more info on that certain thing in the guide. So it's kind of a crappy strategy guide, but they was trying something different. So another versus books, Donkey Kong 64. So I don't know what your guys' opinion is when it comes to Donkey Kong 64. I feel people give it too much of a hard time. I personally enjoyed the game, to be honest. But I see what people have a problem with. It was just too long and too padded out with its collectibles, but it was not a bad game to me. I still enjoyed it. Alright. Lego Indiana Jones 2. Never actually played this Lego game. Just picked it up because, well, I enjoy the Lego Star Wars games. Ooh, that still had... What is... Alright, so, now, isn't that something? So, oh, I remember this website. So, picking up strategy guides and picking up video games in general, sometimes you open it up and you find a little personalized kind of note. And I just found someone that printed out cheat codes off a game website for Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. And you can see where it came from. CCC, Cheat Code Central. That was the gaming website to go to back in the day, like before GameFAQs took off. I looked at that site back in the late 90s. That is awesome to come across stuff like that. SimCity 4. Very thick guide. It's a typical kind of black and white guide, so very, very... There was not... I shouldn't say there was not a lot of effort put into it, because obviously someone had to write all this out, but it's cheap pages. They didn't go with color. It's more text heavy than picture heavy. But yeah. I'm not a big SimCities fan, but I had the game at some point. Don't know why I picked this up, but maybe it's just for memories. City of Heroes. My very first online MMO. But yeah, so this is another black and white kind of thing. So right now, this game is offline. You can't play this game traditionally. fans have created their own servers. If you go through a little bit of hoops and guides to set it up, then you can still play the content in this game. It's not the same, but I may have to set it up and actually maybe do a series. That could be fun because the customization of creating characters in this game was so freaking awesome. Top of the line. Still one of the best character creations to this day. I wish they would bring something similar back, but as of right now, we're probably still waiting on a few fan projects to get finished and released to the public. If they ever plan to release them to the public, because it's hard to tell with what copyright goes with that kind of thing. Okay. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, the official Nintendo's Power Guide. So Nintendo Switch needs to re-release Metroid Prime 2 now that they already released Metroid Prime Remastered. That way I can use this guide. Ah, yes. My favorite racing game ever. Need for Speed Most Wanted. This version. There was a re-release of this. I say re-release, but it was more of a reboot with the same name. I wouldn't even call it a reboot. It was just another Need for Speed game made in the fashion of the way Need for Speed games were made in like the 2010s. And they just was using the Most Wanted name. It was definitely not this game. This game is awesome. If you have a PS2, pick it up. This was on Nintendo GameCube. I guess it was on PC at the time. PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Xbox 360. So if you had to, pick it up on the 360. But yeah, this was a extremely awesome game. And look, the map is still in its pages, which is great. Gosh, such a fun game. One of my personal favorite series on the Xbox 360. I say Xbox 360 because that is the only system these games were released on. Naruto Rise of the Ninja. Typically with these anime games, they go with a fighting versus game. And that is in this game, but it's made into a 3D platforming adventure kind of style game, which I think was incredible. Gosh, such a good game. If you're definitely a Naruto fan, do not sleep on the games on the Xbox 360. They were incredible. I also have Naruto The Broken Bonds, which is the sequel to the game on the 360. Both games were made by Ubisoft, so it wasn't by your traditional Bandai Namco kind of game. Now that's not saying like the Ultimate Ninja Storm games are not great, because they are in their own way, but I just happen to like these games better due to the gameplay style. Such good games. This one must have been another one I just randomly picked up on eBay or Half Price Books. Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. Typical kind of Star Fox kind of game, I believe. on-rail shooter kind of thing. I might have played this on a friend's PS2 back in that time period. Oh, the best Star Wars game ever. Star Wars Republic. Okay, I shouldn't say it's the best Star Wars game because there's a lot of good Star Wars games. But Star Wars Republic Commando, no doubt, the best story-driven shooter, first-person shooter. Keyword is best story-driven. This was awesome. The gameplay was awesome. It was you controlled a squad of 4 people that had their own unique abilities. So in a way there was puzzle aspects in this game where you had to use the right person to do the right thing to continue on through the level. There was, of course, shooting up bad guys, but that kind of strategy, squad leader, puzzle aspect made the game kind of shine, in my opinion. Such a good game. This is another on-rail shooter, Star Wars Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3, the official guide from Nintendo Power for the Nintendo GameCube. Haven't played this game much, so I don't have a lot of memories with this game. Definitely one I would be interested in now. Okay. So I thought these were some of the coolest I've come across. I came across these next two at a local game shop. Dot Hack Part 2 Mutation. So yes, I do plan to hunt these games down eventually. I know they're pricey, but they will not re-release them. Dot Hack Part 3 Outbreak. I have the strategy guide for that too. Believe it or not, the strategy guides were not that expensive. I think I got them together for like $10 for one and $15 for the other. That might have been like a little bundle deal. Then I found this at Half Price Books for only $10. Hack GU Volume 1 Rebirth. They did not do strategy guides for this game series past this game. So unfortunately this was the last one. There is strategy guides for the original 4 games. Though, much like how the 4th game is the most expensive in the original series, the strategy guide for that game is also super expensive. But yes, I have a few .hack strategy guides, and I think that was one of my coolest finds ever. So, I had to get this off of eBay when I was doing my little eBay strategy guide shopping. This was, like I said, a few years ago. Super Smash Brothers. There was actually 2 different guides. I think one by... I can't remember if it was by Nintendo or by some other guide, but this is by Brady Games. I picked this one just because I love that cover. That was like the original Smash Brothers promo art. It's different than the cover of the game, but I love that picture so much. I had such fond memories of Super Smash Brothers. It was one of my most played games on the Nintendo 64. I got it for my birthday one year, and just... yeah. I want to say the year was it was either 97 or 98. I don't remember when that game released. Unfortunately, it was probably... Maybe it was... No, it was definitely... Yeah. It was probably 1999 then. Yeah. But yeah, I just love that art. Super Smash Brothers is such a great game. On that note, I also picked up Super Smash Brothers Melee. What every sequel should be to every game series. The amount, just what you went from the original to this game was packed so full of content. It was an amazing sequel. Amazing. So much so that the series never hit the same for me after this. I do wish they would bring back all the bonus games, like the unique Break the Targets. I wish they would bring back Board the Platforms as well. I also have a Super Smash Bros. Brawl strategy guide. Brawl was cool. Like I said, the series just never quite hit the same for me, like what it did in the Melee timeline when that released. Well, one was because Super Smash Bros. Brawl, it had kind of floaty controls in a way, where I would say Melee was more kind of stiff but precise and fast. But I do love the series, especially the older games. Alright, Star Wars Battlefront. Probably, honestly, it's probably one of my favorite styles, or this type of style game. Though that could be mainly just due to the Star Wars skin, but being able to visit all the locations like from in the movies and stuff, it was kind of magical in that sense. Like, you was seeing these locations in a game. You was able to walk around in these locations made from scenes in the movies. And I don't know, it just gave a very, very magical kind of feel when it came to it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is better, but Battlefront, the original, awesome. The official player's guide from the pros at Nintendo Power, Banjo Kazooie. So before Rare made Donkey Kong 64, they had Banjo Kazooie. The pages seemed a little weird on here. Oh, I thought the numbers to the pages were off. Nah, it's just a 7 looked like a 1. Oh. Wow, that's neat. So the poster was never pulled out of here. That is awesome. I picked this up at a video game convention. And last, but hopefully not least. Hopefully I get more in the future to share with you guys, but this one is definitely something for me. It's not in the best shape. You can tell that by this little tore up corner, but it is a game I hold dearly. At the time when I got this at this video game convention, I got this for $70, I believe. Might have been 75, but at the time to buy a premium copy was like about 125, so I saved money by buying a poorer condition one, but all the pages are there. It's Dragon Quest V, Hand of the Heavenly Bride. Dragon Quest has some of the best RPG strategy guides. Yeah, this feels like there was kinda some water damage at some point, which is unfortunate, but pages are still colorful. None of them are sticking together. It's just a little crinkle and looks like it's been loved a bit. Okay, that came out wrong. It looks like it's been used a bit. But yeah, like I said, not in the best shape. Just yes. I may replace it at some point, but that's not going to be anytime soon. That is my entire strategy guide collection as of now. I may try to build that back up along with my PS2 games, so maybe for the small group of games I have on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, I'll probably try to get the corresponding strategy guides to them games if any of them exist. But thank you for watching. I know the video's been kind of long, and also I know this is kind of without saying, but I want to thank you guys for helping my channel grow. It means a lot. See you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Have a good night. Sleep well. And just enjoy.